Hello, I wanted to share some thoughts and memories on my mother, Goldie Bolin. Mom passed away on August 3rd, and because she was had her funeral in Ohio and was buried in nearby Indiana cemetery, we didn't have a chance to have a memorial service here at Northwest. So I wanted to, for those who knew her and shared some of her life, I wanted to give you an opportunity to know her just a little bit better. She had an amazing life, and I think her relationship here at Northwest, like all of the churches she was a part of in Indiana, in Ohio, and Kentucky, really served her well and really enhanced her life. And so I just wanted to share these thoughts with you. If strength is based on longevity of life, then the strongest person most of us will ever know is Goldie Bolin. She lived to be 103 years, 6 months, and 6 days. And I've entitled her eulogy, Remember Mom at Her Best. She had a lot of best, and so I will try to just cover a few of those because she lived a great full life. Remember Mom at her best. Remember Mom at a one-room schoolhouse. It was Kelly School outside Osgood, Indiana. Remember her as an excellent student who would often stay in at recess to study and impress her teacher. Remember Mom, who was 11th in a family of 15 and the last surviving sibling. At the age of 10, she took much of the responsibility to raise her younger brother, Junior. Their closeness throughout life showed she did a really great job. Remember Mom at her best. Remember Mom writing an essay about George Washington in that one-room schoolhouse that won a county-wide contest. She won a silver dollar that was later taken from her. However, winning that essay contest was a very proud moment in her young life. Remember Mom in high school, walking alone 4 miles in the pitch dark, returning to home after a basketball game. She was a brave and adventuresome soul. Remember Mom at her best. Remember Mom at her best raising 4 kids and always putting their needs ahead of anything she might want to do or have. Remember Mom laying away a very expensive $3 blouse for my sister Janice until she could save the money and pay 50 cents a week on it until they could claim it. Remember her saving green stamps to get our first family record player. Remember Mom without a driver's license until the age of 53. Yet she made sure our dad transported us kids to Sunday school and church each and every Sunday. She then reinforced the Christian values we learned in Sunday school throughout the week. Foul language or dirty jokes were never part of Goldie Bolin's home. Remember Mom at her best, the greatest cook a bottomless pit teenager could ever have. The best pie maker in Indiana, in Kentucky, and Ohio. My favorite pie was coconut cream, or maybe it was pineapple upside down cake, or lemon, or really any pie or cake she made. Remember Mom at her best preparing soups and pies for her neighbors wherever she lived. Remember Mom at her best with her grandchildren, cooking their favorite foods, making dolls and purses for the girls, and spending hours of time doing what they thought was fun. Remember Mom at her best as a gifted craft maker. Raggedy Ann dolls, pillows, blankets, quilted purses. She once said, "I hope I live long enough to make 100 quilted purses." You know, she made 575 quilted purses, and she gave many of her crafts away. Remember Mom is a dedicated school teacher. Over several decades, she taught every age level to dozens of students. She said, "I wish I could have been a first grade teacher." Well, Mom was a great teacher, and she taught us more than we could ever realize, more than she'll ever realize. Mom was at her best as a president of her Homemakers Club in Russell Springs, Kentucky. She was so well liked by her church and community that the road they lived on in Russell Springs was named after her and Dad, Bolin Road. Mom was at her best caring for the needs of others. Birthday cakes were baked for her children and grandchildren. She knew the birthday dates of all her grandchildren and great-grandchildren well into her mid-90s. Numerous meals were prepared for someone in the community who was sick. I remember at a young age going to deliver a birthday cake for a neighbor who had several kids. When we entered the house, the kids were eating goat meat off of newspaper. There was nothing else to eat, just that greasy goat meat laying on newspaper. I could see the look of concern on Mom's face. She told the lady, "I'll be right back." As she walked home, she had tears in her eyes. She gathered up canned goods, vegetables from the garden, bread, and plates. Back to the neighbor's house she went. She always cared for the needs of others, often when she had little herself. Mom was at her best living a Christian lifestyle. One of my first memories as a young boy was seeing my mom come down the gravel road with a wet brown paper shopping bag in her hand. And I asked her, "Mom, why is that bag wet?" And she responded, "I've been baptized." Then I wasn't sure what that meant. However, Mom made sure that Larry and I knew some 6 years later when we accepted Christ as our Savior and were also baptized. Remember Mom at her best in heaven. There will be no memory issues, no frail and worn bodies, no strokes. There will be just joyous communion and celebration with all the others that know Christ as their Savior. Remember, Mom knows a lot of people. Goldie Bolin is at her best now, and she's doing quite well. Heaven is where we will all be at our best. You know, I'm so thankful that Mom lived to be 103 years old, 6 months and 6 days. And a lot of people ask me, how does a person live that long a life and that full a life? And I say, one thing is you have to have a really good, dedicated daughter-in-law. And she did have that in my wife, Lois. Lois was so dedicated to her care and so patient with her and so it treated her so well. And I think that really extended Mom's life the way it did. I just appreciate so much what Lois did for her. And I guess Lois could be named Ruth as well as Lois because she exhibited all those qualities of dedication and loyalty and care that Ruth in the Bible dedicated to. I also appreciate so much our caregiver, Sabrina, who did so much for Mom and kept her laughing many times. When we couldn't get her to laugh, Sabrina was there and encouraged her and laughed with her and always had a good time with her. And I want to lastly thank the people of the church who always came by, said hello to her in service, asked how she was doing, and just lifted her spirits. And it sure helped her in adjusting to Florida and being here with all of us. I hope you've learned a little bit more about Mom and the great life she led. And thank you for listening.